Hi, Year 9. So this is the second one for surface area this evening. So what I have done here on my left-hand side, just here, I have got my triangular prism. Okay, and it's taken me a long time, but I've managed to, like you can sort of see just here, but I have managed to draw a net for that one, which obviously helped me to solve the total set, or find out the total surface area. So this took me a long time, I will say, but what I did and what helped make it a bit easier was that I pretended, okay, I thought, well, if this was a box and I cut it from here, okay, and then I thought here and down here, I thought to myself, what would it look like flat? And yeah, I came up with this. So please be very careful when you're drawing your nets, because it really is easy to make mistakes, particularly when the sides don't have the same length. So as you can see here, I've pre-named these. So I've called this one, we've got 3 rectangles and we have 2 triangles. So obviously each rectangle has a different length. We need to be mindful of that. So this rectangle here has a length of 4 meters. This one has a length of 3 meters. This one has a length of 5 meters. The width is the same for all of them, but the length is different. Obviously with the triangle, the 2 triangles, they have the same base of 3 meters, and the same height. So what I have done here is, because I couldn't be bothered with the drawing thing anymore, is I've done my formula. So surface area equals the area of rectangle 1 plus the area of rectangle 2 plus the area of rectangle 3, plus 2 times the area of rectangle 4. So I've said I need that one twice. Because obviously there's 2 of them. So now I have gone ahead, and you don't necessarily, I might add, you don't necessarily always have to do all of these steps all the time. I always do want to see a minimum of at least 3 to 4 steps, because I'd like to see you working out, because it helps me, if people are making mistakes, it helps me identify where they're making mistakes. But for example, if you're pretty savvy with the fact that the area of a rectangle is length times width, I don't want you to worry about writing all of this out, okay? Obviously, it's super important to do if I guess you're at that beginning stage where this type of problem might seem somewhat difficult, then it is best to write more steps. But if, like I said, that's a bit of a pain to do, then you don't necessarily have to worry about it, just as long as you're showing a minimum of 3 to 4 steps. So I've color coded this. So surface area equals length times width of rectangle 1 plus the length times the width of rectangle 2 plus the length times the width of rectangle 3 plus 2 times the base, which is 3 meters, times the height divided by 2, because remembering that when we're talking about rectangles, obviously the area is length, like we know, times width. But for triangles, the area is, base times height divided by 2, Or you might see it like base times height divided by 2. Or even 0, there's so many different ways to do it, 0.5 times base times height. So like I say, there are many different ways to solve a problem. It doesn't necessarily mean that this way is always the right way. There's lots of different ways, and that's probably why we've been having some frustrations on Mathspace lately. Okay, so what I've done here is I've substituted my values. So like I've done length time width, length time width, add length time width, so on and so forth. I'm mindful of time. I only have 30 seconds left. So I made sure that I have solved my brackets first. So I've done all of those. And then with this one, I just did 3 4s are 12, divided by 2 is 6, and then when we times that by 2 again, it's 12. We add those together because that's the last stage of bed maths, and then we get 54 centimeters